We're traveling on the Allegheny River Trail in Clarion County, north of Foxburg. We're about 1 mile north of the Foxburg Bridge where it crosses the Allegheny River, and we're traveling towards Foxburg. And what we're noting is what the volunteers of the Allegheny River Trail in Clarion County have been able to do on property that they secured the ownership. Um, One of the first things they did was to clear a lot of the trees and brush that were on the corridor where they're going to make the trail, and they did that in preparation so that they could then work on the drainage system. And what they had was where the culverts were, but they could not see the culverts that the railroad put in to convey the water from the hillside over on the left side to the water uh, on the river side. So they went to the locations where the culvert should be located. Some of them you could see the outlets, but many of the inlets were covered by 3 to 4 feet of sediment. So the first thing they had to do was just dig out and find out where these culverts were and what kind of shape they were in. Most of them they were able to find. Most of them has water that is conveying through them, and as time goes on, why the culvert should be able to clear themselves of all the debris. The next thing they'll do is taper back and just stabilize the hillside so they can reestablish uh, the drainage system and make it that the trail can remain high and dry. Um, we're coming up onto one place where they found one of the culverts, and you see how much material they removed just to find a culvert. It's right there on the left hand side. I didn't take the time to look at the culverts this time. I'll do that on a future video. Today I just wanted to travel along here so you could see the improvements. Here's another area that was real wet on the trail, and I've opened up the culverts, and it's taken care of lot of the water that had accumulated along here. One of the other things I want to note is how much sunlight does come through. Although it's mostly shaded, there are places of sunlight, and you can see the sunlight as it reflects off the camera also. And I decided to keep this video to show the light that comes through there as they look for vegetation that would grow on their vegetated swells on the left hand side. Why they may want to consider making a something that is in partial light, sort of along the edge of a woods uh, type plant that would grow. Um, and it should do very well, anything that doesn't need full sun. We're coming up, and you'll soon see right there it takes a hawk, comes out of the tree, and it's going ahead of me, and it lands in another tree, and then it takes off again as I get closer. But that's anytime I've traveled along this section of trail, I've always seen some kind of wildlife, be it hawks, different kinds of birds, uh, deer, lots of geese. Uh, in the right time of season in the spring and fall, you'll see some loons on the river and different things. So this is a very pretty area of the trail. Next, we're coming up onto even more. You can see from these piles just how many culverts there are along here, but also how deep they were. And you see tree roots that have dug up the tree roots from the trees that were growing in the middle of the trail corridor, and they're looking at disposing those in a way that can stabilize some banks and help them also with the groundwater, perhaps making some places where water can be retained for a little bit and perhaps recharge the groundwater, or just simply help in filtering the water out before it reaches the Allegheny River. Um, Coming onto a curve, and after we make the little bit of a turn in the trail here, we come into the area at the end of you'll see buildings there from Shop Trucking Company, and you'll see an area that goes down to the river, and then the trail actually goes up onto some fill that was added over the last couple decades. Um, and this could be an area that is some problem areas for drainage and stabilization, but they do have engineers that will be working on this and trying to solve it. So we're coming onto that section right here, and you'll see that there's a section that goes down to the river to the right, and we'll go up a little bit of a hill, but you can see there's fill added to the left hand side. And again, anytime you add fill, why, you're just adding water problems to somewhere else, and this is quite evident as some of the water problems here. I keep saying that the place to the right will be coming up, and it will be coming up right here. You can see it goes down to the river right there to the right, and we're actually going up a little bit of a hill and going behind these buildings, and we'll soon end here as more work needs to be completed to clear the area along here and establish a trail in this section. So if you have any questions, well, you can call Steffi Trail Connections, and we can hopefully answer any questions you may have. Thank you very much. Goodbye.